Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Arjun Dai. I have a 14 years experience in full stack development. Currently, I am working as a full stack developer in a top MNC company. Please do like and subscribe my channel. Now let's begin. So today in this learning video, we are going to learn three topics about the React. So there, topic one is we have to learn about React project structure. And the second topic is going to be React function component. We have to learn about the React functional component. And the last one is we have to learn about the React state variable. So let's begin. So let's move to the topic number one. So in this topic, we have to learn the React project folder structure. You can see that test React. This project is created in previous video. So we have to analyze the file and folder. So first folder is node module. In this folder, actually React will store all the dependency JavaScript library here. And the second one is public directory. In this directory, there is one index.html. So whole React project will run using this index.html. There is single one HTML file in this React project, and div id is equal to root. In this section, all the HTML element is dynamically created and rendered by React. So now moving to the third folder, that is source folder. In this folder, you can check the first file, that is index.js. This index.js file is actually is actually called from the index.html. So index.html first call this index.js, and from index.js this app .js file is actually called. So in app.js file, this HTML element is dynamically rendered by React. And for CSS part, we know that every HTML is rendered using CSS settings. So for CSS in React, we have to go for the app.css, and in this app.css is import using the JavaScript ES6 features import library as a library. So from import app.css, it is we can use this CSS library, CSS class in our HTML file. And the last one is package.json. In package.json, uh, there is you can check that it is name. Yeah, we can check that it is React project name and the dependency. Whatever the dependency library we have used, this library is written here package.json, and some script file. You can check that start, build, test, and eject. All the things you can write manually, command in there, manually command in this script section. So we'll going to learn uh, in depth in future. So right now it is just basic description. We will move to the further uh, in depth. So now let's move to the chapter. Let's move to the topic two. So now moving to the topic two, that is React functional component. So we have to know what is functional component. In JavaScript, we can write any function, or we can write any class that is introduced in ES6 version in JavaScript. So similar type of things is happening in React. So you can see that this is function app, and in function app there is one HTML. We have written all the HTML element that is going to be rendered in the screen. So this total for this function app is can be called is as a functional component. So right now there is two type of component in React here. One is functional component and another is class component. So this is example of functional component. We can create another functional component. So yeah, uh, I'm going to demonstrate that functional component. So right now we are clicking new file and it is written test.js. In test.js we have import react from react library. Then we have to write function syntax, then test, then we have to return one, we have to return a HTML component that is going to be rendered in the screen. So div hello test functional component. So this function test is one type of functional component and we have to render it. So for render, we have to integrate this test functional component app.js. We have to call this test functional component from app.js. So we have to first import the test function. Before importing this import this test functionality, we have to return one another keyword, that is export default. We'll talk we'll talk about this later. So we have to write two keyword. One is export, second is default. So using this keyword, this function test will be imported in the app.js. So import test from dot means current folder, then test. You can check that test is appear here. So right now you have to display the test and this. So So in this way, we can integrate any functional component into another functional component and we can call this function component. So now we have to check this. So, so now you can check that hello I am test functional component. This is for render using app functional component and another this is for render from the test functional component. So, in this way, you can integrate any, you can create any functional component, and you can integrate any functional component into another functional component. So, in our example, app.js, app is behaving like is a parent functional component, and test is behave like child component. So this is a short description of React functional component. Another functional component is React is there, that is class component. But in React we don't do not use many times. We use many times only functional component. We do not use any class component because it is in React newer version it is uh, in React new version it is telling that we have to use that new functional component rather than class components. So we are only talking about the React function component. So now let's move to the topic number 3. Now we are moving to the topic 3, that is React state variable. So in functional component, how we write any variable? So you can write in this way, like we have to depend on the var or let keyword for JavaScript to define any variable. So first begin with var, where test is equal to 6. And if we want to display this test, like in p test variable, and in this way, in this curly bracket, we can define the variable and you can check that this variable is printed out. So right now, in this way, you can declare any variable and you can you can render this variable in this way. So right now, moving to the, we have to create button, that is simple button, HTML button. So button is click me. You can check that there is button, and in for this button we have to declare one event handler. So if you from JavaScript, it is easy to understand that you what is event handler. So that event handler is one type of result function that is executed when any user click on the UI, any UI element like any form element like button, radio box, checkbox. So in our example, there is one button. So you have to write one function. So first we have to use const keyword on click button. So we are going to write one arrow function for event handler. We will discuss arrow function in later tutorial. Right now, we can write any event handler in this way. First, we have to so in this way. Now we have to print out. We will going to increment test variable plus and we're going to print out this variable test and we have to define this event handler for on click event handler. So we have to copy this function on the on click event. So what is going on click is a parameter for button HTML component, and on click, whenever any user click on the button, this on click but event handler function will be executed. In this function, we have incremented the test variable plus one, and we have displayed this variable using console.log. So whenever we click, we update this test variable, it is going to be printed using this p type of element. So let's begin. So right now we have to open the developer console. You can open this using F12 button in your keyboard. Otherwise, you can open from the print using the menu. There is going in menu. There is F2. There is one option, developer option. So right now we will click the click me. So now in click this 6 plus 1, it is going to be 7, but it is still 6. You can check. We will increment this variable. So what is going on? The variable is fixed at 6. So what is going on? So in order to update this test variable in the render section, we have to use the state variable. That is in React framework, we have to use the React framework state variable. Otherwise, if we use simple variable, it will not going to update in the screen. So we have to use import React from React library. Now we will write test set test and react dot use state. So this variable, so react dot use effect is React framework function. So in function we can create any state variable, and we have to first comment out. So in this way, use state react dot use state return two types of variable. One is the state variable and another is the uh, function to update this variable. So we have to change the syntax. So right now we have to use this set test function and test test plus 1. So right now there is two variable is written from the use state function. One is the itself state variable, and another is the uh, function. By using this function, we can update any state variable. So in set test function, we have update the state variable in this way. So right now we have to check this. We have to refresh this now. The initial value is 6. Right now you can check that 7, it is 8, but in developer console it is always going to display the old value, but in screen it is always going to be update latest value, because this set test, whenever react encounter this set test function, it will just update this variable and re-render this functional component. After this console.log will be but this console.log is print out before the update of the state variable. That's why it is always going to print out the old value, as it is as set test is going as set test is update this variable and pre-render this app screen. So always this screen always update this variable. You can check that whenever I click that, the value is going to update and it will going to display the React screen. So now that's it. We will cover another tutorial on the next episode. Thank you. Thank you all.